so the stuff we're talking about, for example, it's everything has to do with the optimization. Um, for free to play, what's the best route for gear? For the pay to win, okay, what has better value? Like, should I buy mythics from here or there? Should I prioritize air or missile, and which hero, and how do I do it? Like anything and everything. Like we kind of got really nerdy with the game. Um, so there are a lot of stuff I'd like to share, and I'm sure you guys have a lot that I would also like to know. So yeah, we used to split them into topics. So for example, we do 1 week we'll do heroes. So we'll talk about okay, which hero to prioritize if you're 4 stars missile, for example. All of them are 3 star or 4 star missile. Who should you prioritize to 5 star and why? And same thing for skills. Um, and then one other time we'll talk about drone. Okay, what should you prioritize buying if you're a player who buys stuff? Like, is it drone parts? Is it combat boost? Is it skill chips? Okay, and skill chips, which one? There are a lot of details in this game, which is actually the fun part about it. Um, a lot of calculations, a lot of equations when it comes to squad fighting squad and so on. So, anyways, we used to split them into a few topics a week, and then Q&A at the end, and that usually used to take the longest time because that person wanted to know about this, and that was more specific. Okay, so anyways, if you guys have other suggestions or you want to do things differently, just tell me. Like this is just I don't know. It's fun for me to be honest when I do it, and it's also fun I think for the others. Okay, so the agenda. What do I have? I had battle report analysis, fake power versus real power. This is kind of a big one, but a simple concept. And then gear upgrade, hero skills, and then Q&A. So they're technically 3 things. Okay, so let's start with the battle report. So anybody wants to share a specific report we can analyze together, or should I pick something uh, from my squad?
Mm,
Like if you have anything weird, you're like, oh, how did I lose to that guy, or how did I win against that guy? That would be a good one to analyze.
yeah,
I
I,
mean,
I,
if there's nothing present now, I can go through mine. It's fine.
yeah, I don't think I've had anything weird in a little while. I was just thinking I might have one from like a truck, but you never know what's going on with the truck
Yeah,
battles.
I mean, if you don't save it as a favorite, it's it's
Yeah,
hard. Yeah. So, okay, let's. I want to see something like one that is much higher, for example. So this should be fine. Nope. Sorry, I should have been more prepared, but I'll find something good.
this guy putting on free classes and complaining, apologizing for it. What a guy.
It's okay.
Zuko.
We'll get some topics in order, but you know, I'm happy to see whatever you got.
Okay.
I'll start saving some of these weird battle reports and stuff like that. We'll start having some of this stuff ready.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Okay, so this is not good enough. I want. Um, I save a lot of reports. This is why. I'm going
Yeah,
like
I,
way
I
over,
was,
but
and then I got a new phone, and apparently those were saved in the cache, and they went away.
okay. And
So
now
that was
with the
fun.
PC
What?
version and the phone version, sometimes they show up on the phone but don't show up on the PC and vice versa. It's crazy.
Did I hear that right? They save favorite designation in the cache.
That's the only thing I can. That's the only thing I can guess because when I loaded it into a new phone, it was not part of my server save data.
It happened. It happened to me as well with a couple of things like bookmarks, or if I bookmark some base. It happened in some reports that you'll see some from your phone, because I don't use two phones, so it's phone and PC. So sometimes I find them on PC, but they're not on the phone, and other way around.
Yeah, I guess it's all local storage. And I guess clear cache wipes out all of your local storage.
Yeah, I mean, I would guess so, because the game is pretty big on my PC, on my phone. Um,
Yeah, it's 1.2 gigs on iOS, I think.
I'm
Does the
think
PC version has it still triggering Windows Defender? Because that's why I haven't
uh,
migrated to PC yet.
no. But do you have Windows 10 or 11?
10.
10? No, it doesn't trigger for me. Okay, so this I should technically lose, but unless he's really bad, then he'll give us really good content. Okay, let's see. Not even close. I don't think it's close. Nope. Give me something interesting, please. Sorry, this is the worst workshop ever. I swear I'm not usually all over the place like that.
It's a hectic day, man.
It is
It's
a
all good.
hectic day.
What are you looking for specifically? You're looking for like a battle where maybe you beat someone who was
Yeah.
a little stronger than you, or
I have some
someone
that are
beat
five.
you who was weaker.
Yeah, I have some that are like sometimes even six. I think 6.5 or 6.5. I think was the highest. But it just, I don't know how far they were, and I'm not sure if they're even on PC. That's the problem. Um, okay, this is good. Okay, this is good because I'm air, no gorilla involved, and it's the same power. Technically, this should never happen, right? 34 and a half. He's 34 and a half, but he's 34 and a half missiles. I'm 34 and a half air.
Right.
So, and even my heroes are lower level. So technically, just on paper, it shouldn't happen. Actually, I think I should
Yeah.
answer the second part, which is talk about the second topic first, which is fake power versus real power. So I'm lucky I'm friends with like super nerds in this game who actually are not very strong in terms of squad powers, but they enjoy a different aspect. They are programmers, they enjoy making equations for everything. And they test it, they run simulations and stuff like that. And I just, all of this effort, I just take it and share it with my friends or use it. But it's not mine. But, anyways, so it's
Well,
all,
we're gonna do the same with what you say. So
yeah. So, so anyway, so this number doesn't mean much actually. Like if I'm 40 million and you're 45 million, that doesn't mean you're that percent higher than me. Sometimes you might actually be weaker, even though your number is bigger, because of two reasons. Um, the the way they calculate hero power here, this number, is actually not very accurate. The easiest way or the easiest example to just highlight this is the research, right? So if we go research here, you'll see that some of my power, which is the 34, is 7.8 of it is from the research, and he has 7.4 of it. However, these numbers have nothing to do with this fight, because if I did nothing on air and I have full maxed out tank research, tank mastery, tank heroes, everything has to do with tanks is maxed out, but I did nothing in air, this number would be pretty high. Okay, so it would show that I'm 2 million higher, for example, in terms of research. But this is not true at all. Okay, because this 2 million is only relevant if I'm playing tanks, right? Because your tank mastery doesn't do anything for your air squad. Does that
Right.
make sense? And there are a lot of examples of those. If you can do the same thing for chips, for chipsets here, let's say you have a maxed out tanks chips, and you put it on air squad, you get a high number here. Your drone would look like it's a lot stronger. However, in battle, these chips don't activate. So you actually, yeah, on paper you have 2 million more. However, in reality, we actually are not using this at all. So you're 2 million weaker. That's a 4 million gap. I'm just, this is not accurate numbers. I'm just doing whatever just to illustrate the point. So
Yeah.
this is actually what started me and like the group to start to go into battle reports, and we actually do this sometimes just without workshop, just for fun. For hours, we just dissect reports and every single detail in it, because one of the things I found interesting a few months after playing the game was that comment, and I'm sure everybody saw it. It's like, oh my god, how did I lose to this? I'm 30 million and he's like 25, and he's tanks, and both guys are tanks. Because this number, it's just about the ballpark. You're approximately 30 million. He's approximately 25. And after that, it got more complicated when exclusive weapons came in and Gorilla came in. So my friends, they actually calculated how much real versus inflated or fake power that each of those give. Like they found that Gorilla more than 50, I don't remember the exact number, but it was 50 something of the number you gain from the Gorilla is actually fake. So let's say your Gorilla is 4 million, you're technically only increased, give or take, 2 million, not 4. For the exclusive weapons, it's about 30% inflated. So 30% is fake. For Gorilla is around 50% fake. And you would see that in a lot of reports. The more stuff they're adding like that, exclusive weapons, and now the Gorilla, the more you see weird reports. Especially if it's a squad with Gorilla against a squad without a Gorilla. Many times you'd see 4 or 5 million difference and the guy without Gorilla wins. Yes, of course, because that Gorilla is not worth what it says it's worth. But they want you to feel good about it, to pay for the Gorilla and level him up. So of course, then, yep, instead of you should get 200k, they give you a million. So that way you feel a little bit better about the $100 you put in, or 200. It's smart, but anyways. So this is what I wanted to say about like fake versus real. Sometimes this number would reflect your actual squad power to an extent, and sometimes not. So let's look like, if I'm gonna analyze this and I won in a match I shouldn't have won. So what I'd do is I'd usually see where it went wrong for him. So here I have around 1 million more in terms of power because of the exclusive weapon. Um, I would say this number is probably a bit less, just because the exclusive weapons are not worth as much as most think. Level 20 is a huge upgrade because it gives HP, defense, and attack to the whole squad. Level 30 is insane, but the 10 usually don't make up to, up to right before 20, so even until 19, they don't contribute too much. They contribute to your squad looking better, but in reality, not really. We found that the most the stuff that have the most impact are the following: research, skills, like skill medals, like the skills of the heroes, and gear. And usually these numbers are a lot higher in actual battle. For example, do you see here the difference in skills? It's 300k. I'm 1.4 million for hero skill, and he's 1.1. But in reality, it's not, because this is for one hit. It's not for the entire battle. Meaning, uh, uh, the auto attacks is every second, right? So for every second, there would be that difference in power between me and him. For the attacks that have 9 seconds cooldown, that means, let's say it's all 9 seconds, just for sake of argument. That means every 9 seconds, I have 300k advantage over him. It's not one time, it's every single time that shot is fired. So this is why the skills, if it's even 100k or 200k, that would in actual battle might translate to 800k. So this is reason number one why he lost. The skills are just so bad. Like this is just 13, 14, and whatever. Um, his gear is actually much better than mine, so that can maybe even it out a bit, especially considering he's a counter. Okay, so we'll go next to the drone. What do you think? Which drone is better? Let me test. Let me test you guys a bit. Hello, hello. Okay, you guys are. You
Sorry,
slot.
I'm looking at the components. I'm
No,
looking
no.
at the components.
Okay, yeah. So,
999. Okay, right sides are
uh,
eights on
I
both. Left
okay.
side are nines.
I want to
Yeah, so
remove
yours,
it. I just want these.
yeah,
I-
yours. I mean, with the stars, especially because once you get to the one red or two red stars,
Okay.
you're really kind of cooking.
So yeah. If I was okay, what if I was 149?
Then you what is 150 is the 5% damage reduction.
Yeah. The 2%. I think it's skill damage increase.
Is it skill damage increase at two at 150?
Yeah. Skill damage increase 2%.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, so 149, 149, you're probably gonna lose
yep. Yep.
close to
That
6% cascading.
Yep, I lost so much when I was getting to 150. 148, 147, whatever. Lost too many battles against much weaker opponents just because of that 150. And the opposite has been happening. So now once I cross the 150, it's not a problem to win against 160, 170, and I'm saying more or less around the same power of squad. So like it's just about the jump, the milestones, let's call them. And with all the calculations, actually, after 150, you get very, very little advantage until you reach 200. So for the spenders, but the ones who don't spend a huge amount, um, I would not recommend paying anything in terms of drone parts at all after 150. Just let it go up naturally, and when you get to like 180, then you can, or get closer, then you can make a decision about how much it means to you to be 200, because there's other stuff that are cheaper, because it gets to a point now when it's what 500 per level, and you get, I'm talking real power, by the way. Like I don't care about how much it adds to the squad, but it doesn't add much anyways. But even in real battle, it doesn't add. I've compared the difference between 150 to 151, 152, 155, almost negligible. However, whenever I invest in components, I invest in chips, then that makes a big difference. So this is kind of the whole idea of like the workshop. So it's not about, okay, obviously if you have unlimited funding, if you're Zuko, then you don't need to look into anything or study the game or see what's better or how to optimize because
Yeah, it's just
what you're gonna max out everything.
yeah.
But for most of us who, yeah, invest time and effort and some money in it, we want the best uh, value for money. So this is pretty much what the guys are doing, and we're checking. Um, so okay, how about we ignore the battle reports just for now, because I think like we just touched upon it, just so I can cover the other stuff, which are gonna go faster, and then go back to the analysis. Sounds good?
Yeah.
Okay, so what did I have after? Sorry. I'm really all over the place. Apologize.
You don't need to apologize for anything. This is super helpful. Thank you.
So that was a good segue into like kind of it seems that more the skill chips and the components are kind of significantly more important than the actual level with parts, at least up to 150.
Yeah, so post 150. So until 150, I would say okay. So it changes, right? So I would say initially, number one priority is to get your chips to level 2. There are milestones in the chips as well. If you go here, you'll find major upgrades. There are a lot of people going crazy about having one red star, for example. One red star is worth nothing. Like it's really, really small value. It just looks good. After 5, you want the next major upgrade is 8. So sure, if you're pushing to 8, then you should be happy about that one red star. But if you're not, then 5 to 6, 5 to 7 is not that significant. So let me open it from, where is it? From where? Okay, yeah. So all the chips are like that. So major upgrade is on level 2, and this is the biggest major upgrade as well, because instead of having one skill per chip, it unlocks the second skill. So now each chip pretty much does 2 things instead of one. So I would say the number one priority would be to get your chips to 2 stars, all of them, and then after that I'd start investing in the drone parts, getting it to 150, and then I'll continue with the chips. Obviously, there's some stuff you organically get anyways, so you can push that way. But I'm saying in terms of like investing, because you have to focus, otherwise you just be evening everything out all over the place, and yeah, you're not gonna be as effective. Another thing that most actually don't mention and most don't really pay attention to is this: the combat boost. The combat boost is actually a huge upgrade because again, if you go into any chip, let's go into this one. I just upgraded to 450 today. I've been working on it for weeks. If you go to skill boost, that's the difference. So for just this chip alone, from 5.1 attack boost to 7.65. That has nothing to do with the stars or anything, just the combat boost. And this is for every chip, for every squad. It's like the drone itself, not the drone chip. This feels like so you're gaining a lot of power for all the squads, and especially now with their no arena apex, like they're really pushing the agenda for 3v3, which I hate. But anyway, so this is even more value in this regard. Like just today, from 449 to 450, you're talking about 2.5% here in attack, and then you're gonna do the same for each chip for each page. This is insane value. But again, it's like it takes a while. It's not cheap, and also I have another tip when it comes to this one. So where do you get the combat boost from? Like, how do you boost this up? The best way is actually hidden, and I don't know why they are doing this. So the best way to get the combat boost is not from the buying the chests. If your main goal is to get this, is when you press quick add and press here, get more, you'll see this package. This is not anywhere else. And this is the fastest way to get drone combat boost. And I don't know why is it nowhere except here, but yeah. I just bought some today. It starts at 4. 4 of the XP, which is 4 or 8, sorry. I think 4. No, 4. Yeah, it starts at 4. Which each 1 XP is 10k, so that's 40k for $5. You can say, okay, instead of doing this, I'll just go and buy that one. The daily, I think I don't have it either because I bought it. But anyways, you know which one I'm talking about, right? It has 1 purple and 3 greens, I think. The problem is that you have 75% chance of getting the purple that would give you only 20k, which are these. So this one gives you 40k, but that's the 25%. If you get this one, 20k. If you get this one, 20k. If you get this one, 20k. So if your main goal is to boost the combat boost, it's bad to buy this. However, this has an advantage. Of course, you can get lucky and get a gold chip. That would help. But it just depends on what's your main goal. Is it to go up slowly in the combat boost and at some point you will get some good UR chips, so it's a win-win? Or do you want to focus on just combat boost? And it depends on the level. Like if you're close to level 300, then I would recommend buy it from the get more. If you're far, then just leave it until you get closer. Like I started pushing a few days ago when I reached 432. Before that, I was just letting it grow organically. My friend just got to 434 yesterday, and then he started pushing. So just get closer and then do it. Again, next one is 600. It's gonna be crazy. I'll just forget about it, I think, even forever. But
Yep, I'm in the same boat.
Okay. So what did I? By the way, suggest topics. Like I don't know. I've talked to these stuff with the guys multiple times, so I don't know. Like, feel free to guide me or like change the topic.
Yeah, I mean that what we've been talking about is kind of close to what I would ask right away. You know, which of the drone areas you prioritize and why, but you know, and it's kind of subjective as to where you're at currently.
Yep. This is the problem.
Kind of what your thoughts were on the monkey too, because the monkey is like notoriously fake power. So I kind of was curious what your thoughts were on that. So yeah, like we kind of covered the things I was thinking about.
So the monkey.
Yeah, although one of the things I'd be curious, Mac, is decorations.
Oh, decorations
yep,
is a good one too. Okay. So the decoration, there's a bit of it's close. My personal preference, okay, it's very close in the results and the simulations the guys ran. It was very close about. I'm talking about the first skill, like attack, defense, or HP. So before I talk about that, let me tell you the worst stat in the game, in everything, in units, in research, in decoration, in anything. You just in borders, in even base skins, you see that stat, you stay away. It's called defense. It's super bad in everything. It ranged between 1/6 value compared to attack or HP to 1/9. So it's like the worst stat that gives you any real difference in any battle. So I'd always leave it last. Like, just defense is really bad. I don't know why they're doing this. Is it on purpose to confuse people, to create weird reports, or I don't know. But all the testing that has been done, it's just the worst stat in the game is defense. Wall of
When you say
Honor.
it's whenever it's 1/6 or it's 1/9, do you
Yeah.
mean that you would need 9
Uh,
defense to count to
yes.
mitigate 1 attack?
No, I'll tell. Yes, and like I can give a better, not better, like just a simpler way to explain it. In hero defense, right? So 6 of these actually in heroes it's 6, yeah. In units it's 8. So let's go units. So here, so 8 of those would account for one of these.
Oh, I
However,
got you.
this
Okay.
is the same price as this. It takes the same amount of resources. It takes same amount of speed ups. Like you get, we get so screwed about it to just get the units, get the heroes up, and for very little value. Like if you notice in my heroes here, I'm almost done. But what's remaining? I did these towards the end just because they're cheap. But this is 4 out of 5. That was a mistake, by the way. It was a misclick. I was gonna leave it at 3. This is 3. This is 3. And when I got everything to 3 in terms of defense, okay, now okay, I'll take the low value just because I got all the high value. But before that, there is no reason to get it. And I did the same for units because I've seen the numbers, I've seen the equations, and when we tried it out, obviously on a smaller scale, but just to verify the data, it showed the same. Like the defense stat is very bad in this game. The defense is good in one thing only. Like defense is good in gear. The best gear is defensive gear. However, for everything else, you want HP and attack. So I'll go back to the question you guys were talking about, decoration. So it's very close between, as a first skill, is it better to have HP or attack? It's very close in terms of results, how much impact it did. But from my limited testing, I saw that HP has a little bit more edge just because it benefits all of them, the defenders and the attackers, while the attack stat only benefits the 3 attackers. Um, so this is my justification for it, but it's very close. You cannot, like, you would not go wrong either way. If you go defense, then yeah, you go very, very wrong. So I focused here on all the HP ones. I only have one left to take it to 4. So the cheese manor, the other HP is the new car, the rose one, and the lovely bears. That's also HP. So I would say these are the most okay. After that guy, of course. This is the best decoration in the game because of the marsh size. The marsh size is the biggest OP thing in the game. And that's the only reason I think the gorilla is relevant. If it did not increase the marsh size, I think the gorilla would have been complete garbage. I could have even skipped it. So after this, which you can only get from season, I would say the best are all the HP ones. The lovely bears, the cheese manor, and what else we have that is HP? Okay, so this is HP. However, the second skill is monsters, so I would ignore this. Um, this is attack, attack. I think, yeah, I think this is HP. No, there's one more. I think pumpkin.
You said the Rosie Cabriolet was
Yeah,
HP.
yeah, this is HP. No, I meant that is not level 4 for me. So this I'm done. So after 4, I'm done, to be honest. Like I'm not even focusing on this because this is ridiculous. 8,100. So just my goal is 4, level 4, and that's it. When I get closer, maybe after a few years, I'll push to 5. But it's so crazy. After like even 3 to 4 is hard, but 4 to 5 is just for me not something I'm thinking about. So this is HP, this is HP, this is HP, and this. So I would prioritize these to level 3 first if your decoration is at 2. And if your decoration is at 3, I'll prioritize these to 4. But I would not leave those, for example, at 2 and go for 4 for those decorations. No, I'd make it as even as possible just because the amount of decoration components, what do they call them? The components you use. So it's again value for money. So this is one route, you can go there. The other route you can go attack, and that's fine. And if you're gonna ask me next, what's the second skill, best second skill? I would say again it depends on where you are in the game. So if most of your skills on, if your first squad has high skill level, and by high I mean 30 and above, then I would say the best thing would, okay, so the best thing is always damage reduction. Second best thing depends. If you have high skills, then second best thing would be skill boost. The skill boost, like I think this one. No, this is crit damage. Um, yeah, so damage reduction I would say is the most underrated thing in the game. It makes a huge difference. And after that, I would say it's skill boost. Where is the skill boost? Okay, yeah, boost skill damage. And last but not least is crit damage. However, in the initial levels, if you are still a player who have the skills around 20, for example, you're still pushing, or you switched from air to tank and you want the fastest result. So the fastest result would be the crit. Like you will actually feel the difference if your squad is not very strong. So like the low blues or the white seat players. For them, I would say get crit damage for now, just to get them initial boost, and then later you'll be working on other decorations. So then do the skill boost because for them their skills doesn't do much, so it's a percentage. If your skills do 100k, it's different than if your skills does a million. So, and also depends on the weapons. So the less weapons you have, or less level the exclusive weapons are, then go towards damage reduction and crit damage. Did that answer okay? Or, and by the way,
Yeah.
feel free to like disagree or just tell me, show me this, or screw you, Mac, or this is incorrect
No,
information. Like,
it makes
no, I
sense.
like a debate.
It makes sense. Well, you know, it's the numbers don't lie. It makes sense.
Yeah.
You know.
Let me tell you something I wished. I know you didn't ask about this, but I think this is actually, if I can give one tip, that's the most important thing, which is gear. I really wish I knew this initially. So that's my first all red. These, so which ones are the least important in terms of red? I'm not talking about yellow. I'm saying max yellow into red. The two, if you would tell me lose two now, red to yellow, I would lose the attack ones. Like these are really, really low value. I know everybody prioritizes red gun. First thing, what do you do? Red gun, useless. Second thing, what do you do? Red chip, yay, useless. I really wish I knew. And it just actually simple. If we would have read, or if I would have read the description, I would have understood. Because what does the red, so let's see a maxed out gun that is yellow. I don't have, but anyways, let's just consider this is maxed out yellow. Okay, 4 stars. Uh, what am I missing? I'm missing only this, right? The extra skill, the fifth one. And what does it do? It boosts the damage on counters 10%. So that means I win against air anyways, so they're giving me 10% extra that, to be honest, in most scenarios I don't need. They're making me the squad that I counter more. Okay. I'm not saying it's bad, I'm just saying it's not as valuable. Let's compare this to, actually, the first gear that I had all red was this one, the radar, because it's super amazing. It reduces the damage from crit hits 30%. And that has nothing to do with whether it's energy or physical. Everything. All the crit hits are reduced by 30%. And if you look at any random report, just look at how much damage. It's usually around half. Look how much damage are the crit hits. So for example, here, 20 million Swift. 14 million of it are crit damage. And so what's remaining? 6 million, right? So it reduced the 14 million 30%. Same thing here. Okay, this is useless. But okay, so for Tesla, he did 20 million. 11 million of them are crit hits. So give or take, so half of the damage being done to you is crit hits. Reducing that by 30% is huge compared to any other gear. So if I would say you have mythics, you don't know where to put them, just always radar. On defenders, on attackers, it doesn't matter. Because that's the highest value. Um, what's the opposite? The opposite is 10% extra damage, right? So I reduced 15 million, 30%, which is what? Roughly 5 million, right? So 5 million reduced here, or you want 10% of this, which is 2 million, if they are air. So that did not activate. So this chip did not activate in this because it's tank missile versus missile. So having this compared to a maxed out yellow would do zero damage, zero difference, zero. Like if it's maxed out, I'm not saying it's 4 stars. I'm saying 4 stars and 3/4. Zero difference. Because that extra skill would not activate 2 out of 3 times. It would not activate against tanks because they counter you, not you counter them. They're not going to activate in the mirror matchup, missile versus missile. So, yeah, I would actually delay these as much as possible. Yes, they are useful in one thing, in PvE. They're good against the world boss. Because the world boss you will counter, right? When they ask you to play missile, they ask you to play missile because you're against air. So that means when you have it red, you'll do 10 extra damage. But to be honest, you will get there anyways with just increasing everything else. It's just gonna be delayed. The rewards you're gonna get from world boss are just gonna be delayed, maybe 2 weeks to a month. But I mean, the rewards are there waiting for you anyways. So. The second best gear I would say to be read is the armor. Is it called armor or shield? Armor. This reduces the chance of taking crit hits 15%. So it's good, but the chances roughly of crit hits are usually 50-60%. So let's see here. He's maxed out, so let's see his crit percentage. It's here somewhere. See it.
So, kind of as a broad rule, you'd say prioritize the defensive gear on all heroes.
Yep.
No matter what. First, yeah. Okay.
No. Okay, let me rephrase.
I mean, if you're trying to get to red,
yes,
at that point.
For red, yes, but initially, of course, you would get more value. Like you have to work on the guns for the attackers and the defensive gear
Yeah.
for that.
Yep.
But once you reach the stage when, okay, I have red mythics, and should I use them on a gun or a chip or armor or radar? The answer should always be radar. If we're talking value
Yeah.
for money, if you're talking about real power, not caring about something that's not important like rewards on world boss that you get anyways. Um, so 100% radar then for everything. Like I did 5 radars. That's the first thing I did. Obviously, I started
Right.
with 2 guns because I didn't know better at the time. Um, and one more also, but let me check the crit damage. Oh, okay. The crit rate here is 41, and he's maxed out. Of course, I can get a bit more from the drone, but so 40%. So the red here reduces the 40% by 15%. It's not the highest value, to be honest, but it's still better than those two, this and this. The worst one is the chip. Reduce damage taken on counters 5%. So if you're against a counter, again, you're against air, would reduce the damage you're taking 5%. Doesn't matter, you're winning anyways most of the time. And when you lose, you probably lose by a big margin because they are a lot stronger than you. I've been in very little situations as a missile main when my problem with air is that the fight was close. You will mostly crush them unless there's a huge difference, and then you'll be crushed and there's nothing you can do about it. My goal
Right.
was to try to win the close fights, the ones you're almost gonna lose or almost gonna win. And my second goal, to be honest, what I enjoy about the game the most is when I win against a 4, 5, 6. There's one here I need to find that 6.5 million. I think Jessica had won 7.5 million. So like these are pleasing. It's obviously they do a lot of wrong things, and obviously the accounts that win are very optimized, but it just feels good. Okay, yeah, one more gear while we're at it. Tip, and this would save you a lot of gold, is don't spread out your circles or whatever they call them.
Yeah.
It's very bad value. It's very tempting because it's cheaper at first because it's 5 blueprints, but the value stacks up. Like for example, this I've won against a lot of these guys who had better gear. Like I understand I have better gear here, but I've won against so many guys with better, sorry, who had higher gear number or gear power just because they're spreading them out. This is actually not too
Right.
bad, but like you would find some with like two, 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 horrible because the effects tack on each other. So you want to stick with one until it's maxed, and I mean maxed as in not maxed, but like so 4 3/4, and then go next
Right.
because reds are very expensive, and to be honest, they don't have a lot of value. Like it's yes, I paid for them, but to be honest, they're not good. So, like, if you're looking to put your money where it matters, then I would actually not recommend getting uh, mythics. After you get the 5 red radars, afterwards you're better off putting the money elsewhere. Um, unless
Right.
you're far away from any major upgrade, then do it. So yeah, don't spread them out. It's always For the most part, it's the best order is gun gun. So 2 attack or 2 or 3. This is your preference. So if you want to get all 3 attackers guns, and it depends on the squad as well. So if you're playing tanks, you only need 2 guns, and then you go to defensive gear. You do radar, armor. So that would be 2 guns and 4 defensive items, and then you go back and do the third gun if you haven't, and you do the chips, and then you go. Actually, I did not do the chips. Yeah, you should not do the chips anymore, especially with the exclusive weapons. I can send the order. I have document that says, but like it's gun,
Yeah.
radar, armor, and then I go back and actually ignore the chip and work on radars for the attackers. And then you can do the chips for the attackers and so on. So yeah. Okay, next thing I want to talk about is the skills, but I think this is straightforward for the majority. But there are pictures that some guys did on Reddit I can share. But just rule of thumb for anybody who doesn't know. So for defenders, it's always these two are the highest ones. This is really low value. You would not go wrong leaving it at level 10 even. So these two are the defensive for defense heroes, and top right and top left for the attackers. And for the support, it's also these two, like Murphy. Sorry, Marshall, for example. Yeah. So these two are his bread and butter. Same thing for defenders. This is very low value, so you can leave it way lower until you're kind of getting to a point when it's too expensive, or this gets to a point when it's too cheap compared to the others, then you can level it a bit. So personally, what I'd recommend would be something like let's take because I resetted her. So okay, so what I'd do here, I'd do 30, 30, 20, and after that I'll leave her alone. I'll be like, okay, she's done, and so on. Then I'll go to the defender and I'll get, where is my tanks are shit, so I'm using them as example. Okay, so here I'll do 20, 30, 30, and then I'll leave this, maybe I'll do it at 20, but I'll do this last. So that's the main, this is the threshold where you can say this hero is strong enough. 20, 20, 20, 10 is the minimum for, like, maybe let's say your third quad, 20, 20, 10. And for your first and second, I'd say 30, 30, 20 or 30, 30, 15. Um, yeah, because it's really low value to boost, to use your skill medals um, on the attacking skill of defender. Look at any report, you'll see to do very little. And raising it up increases it by a percentage. So the initial number is low anyway. So yeah. I think so. This is kill medals. We talked about gear. I think I actually finished what we had set for today. But if you guys have any questions or anything you want to discuss or anything you want to add for the others, please tell me.
Yeah, I mean that was a lot of good, pretty much a lot of the questions I would have asked even if you didn't have a exact, list for today. So that's a good, like, brief,
Yeah.
kind of understanding of a few different topics here to start thinking about moving forward.
To be honest,
Yeah.
these ones I picked for like the first workshop based on what I fucked up the most. Like I had
Yeah,
the
makes sense.
circles spread out everywhere, and I had to break them, and I lost a lot of gold involved. But I got a lot of value in return. But the gold hurts, to be honest.
Oh, for sure.
So,
Yeah, just want to say thank you for doing this. This is awesome, and I'm just glad I'm not 100% wrong. Like I'm only maybe 50 to 60% wrong with what I've been doing so far,
trust
which
me,
is good.
trust me, this is amazing. Like 56, I swear. Like if you have seen, like every single thing, I'm like, I found out later. Not everything, but like a lot of them, it's just wrong. And part of it
Yeah,
is not because the people I was following were wrong. It's just because the meta changed. So when I was asking my friends on older servers, like, why is everybody doing red gun, red chip, and it's like a trend, and the numbers don't add up, and the results don't add up. And it turns out that initially in the game, before the exclusive weapons, the attackers were doing very little damage. So actually at that point, you wanted any boost of damage you can get on the attackers because the attackers were not doing enough damage. But
Mm-hmm.
after the exclusive weapons, even the first three were introduced, the whole equation changed drastically. Now you no
Yeah.
longer need. So it just they didn't. So some players were copying top players who knows some knowledgeable players, and then everybody just follows. But then the meta changes, and then they stay as they are. Um, yeah. Somebody said something about Gorilla. So Gorilla, you get a lot of value when you unlock him, real value. Again, half of it, but I mean it is good numbers still. Like, cause you get. I mean he's what 4 million down. Let's see. So if we remove this, he's 4.5 million. So that's still a lot of value. Even if you say half of it is fake, 2.5 is not a joke. We used to struggle to get 200 or half a million before. So he is good. But after, so level 1, you get good value. Level 2 is the biggest upgrade I would say ever. He gets a lot beefier. Level 2. Level 3, okay, he gets beefier, but not as much. So yeah, you're paying double for half. So it's a decreasing value. 4, if I can go back in time, I would. This doesn't matter. 5, I have a couple friends who have done that. We've tested again, very little value. If you want to get value out of Gorilla, forget about this 4, 5. Yeah, it looks good, and people would be like, "Oh, look at him. He spent too much on Gorilla, but it's useless." If you want to spend money on Gorilla, there's one place. This one, promotion rating.
I like this guy.
Promotion rating.
Perfect.
Get this to max to 10 before you think about anything in the Gorilla. This to 10. After that, you're forced to do certificates, and then go back here. This, ignore this shit. Oh, and also these. Please don't boost the attack. Like he does not do damage. I have a friend who maxed out on this. It just she doesn't still do damage. Like from 1 million you're going to 2.5 million. Nice, uh, game changing. So these are the best two. This is the number one because it reduces all the damage taken by itself. It's a passive skill, so no cooldown. Second best is this because it increases the crit damage uh, of the two front enemy units. So that means you're just boosting your attackers. So it's a buffer, like buff and debuff. So this is a buff. This is defensive for him to be tankier. These are pretty bad, but I'm kind of so I usually keep 2 or 3 levels ahead of these just because they're too expensive and we get them very slowly. That I level these a little bit. But I would say my next is to take this to 20 or at least take this to 18, take this to 16. So just focus on these. If you're impatient a little bit like me, by the way, no need to take them to 12 and 10. It's dumb. Like I
But
did
like
it.
if you look at
It's just not. Sorry.
if you look at the passive, the armor, right?
Yeah.
Your level 16 skill right now.
Yeah.
And if you scroll down in your star list, right, you're
Yes.
at 3 stars.
Yeah.
But then you look at 4 or 5,
Yeah.
right? You're reducing the damage
This
taken to
is
your units.
yeah. I really thought about this. This is why I actually stopped at 4 for a while, and I saw that. And when I saw this one, I'm like, okay, I'm not that far, so let me push those 5 levels. So I'm actually stopping here for that because it is very valuable. The problem is it's one random. It's so annoying RNG, but it's better than nothing. But yeah, this is very valuable. These three are useless because auto attacks do very little anyways. Damage reduction against auto attacks, shit, shit, shit. But like, I mean, the main skill is good. But yeah, these are
Right.
amazing. Yeah, like imagine having damage reduction and all three in the back row. So amazing, but this, I don't know how much
Yeah,
this would
55 is real
cost.
hard.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's far away.
and by the way, something weird happened here, in case I don't know if you're level 4 or not yet. This was 75. Until I reached, I think the first two were 75, then all of a sudden it became 80. Usually they used to be the same price throughout the same level.
Oh yeah, no, they're not.
That's true.
They're definitely not now.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
and that's actually making me scared because I don't know if this is gonna be 80, is this gonna be 100,
Do you
120?
want to? Do you want to know? Because I can tell you.
Tell
Yeah.
me. I mean, I don't want to know, but
Here,
I want to know. So tell me.
I just dropped it in the chat for the channel.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Yep. I don't know if at the halfway point it turns
Oh,
higher or
yep.
not.
I swear
Yeah.
I said 100 and 120 and I was like 120 is extreme, but I know they're pieces of crap, so yeah. So
Yeah, pretty much.
like this is not
Yeah.
okay. It used to be 20 and 40 and throughout. So like you're talking 40 times 10, so that's 400.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a
Like
lot.
I looked here and I was like, you know what? I'll just get the whole thing, and it was 75. Where's so here I got some, I think 75 only. I was planning on getting the whole thing, and then as soon as it went from 75 to 80, I'm like, okay, hold on. So the
Yeah.
calculations are changing now because I'm not gonna get where I think I'll get because I don't know what is hiding in the future. So please, when
Oh,
after you go
yeah.
35, let me know if it increases again because they're getting a bit too greedy.
I don't. I think it stayed 80 throughout level 4. But I
No,
can't
it
really
started
confirm that.
75. No, I just upgraded
Oh,
today.
it
It
did.
was 75. I think for the
Okay.
first two. So this is why when it switched to 80, even though it's a small difference, but I was like, what's going on here? So you're
Yeah.
changing now. So that means you gotta do it again. and
Yeah. No. No. Absolutely.
and
Yeah.
this
I feel like it's gonna. I don't know. I can't remember it going up to like higher than 80 when I was level 4. I'm level 5 now, and I'm at two. I'm at 42 right now, and it's
when
still
did you get
120.
when did you get so I wanna see mine, but like when does it to go to 100 before 5? That's my question. When does it
I'm
go to 100?
Well, that's the thing. I maxed out total mobilization, getting from basically
That's
where you're at.
400. Yeah, that's for uh
Yeah.
but that should you would have been more, but oh, maybe you had some saved up because this is
Probably.
7 times 8, that's 560. Not counting for if it increased more, 560, and
Yeah.
the
Oh,
mobilization will give you 400 only. So
yeah.
you
I
have
take that back. I didn't max out. Oh, I maxed out the tickets
yes,
on mobilization that time. Yes.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
because
also
it's the best value, But
uh,
I
I would
well, for the gorilla.
yeah, for the yeah, I would say obviously this, like no, like this is
I got that
amazing
too.
obviously, and the second best I would say are these. I
Yeah.
max them out even if I don't have stuff to do. Like, look here, I just cannot. I have 4.5k. I don't need them, but I don't want to put them in the second squad. To be honest, second squad is fine. Because I used to be air was my main, and I switched late to missiles. So until a few weeks back, actually, my when I switched gear to air, my air was overall stronger. So, anyways, the air is fine for me. Slowly, I want to take them to 5, and then I'm stopping. I'm not putting anything into air after they're all 5. And this is for uh, maybe. I mean, I really don't want because my gear for second squad is shit. This is why I don't want to put more. Um, this is fine. 3, 3, 3, 4. So I don't want to put anything in the other chips yet. Oh, also, there is order for the chips. Let me put them here. Chips. Order, okay.
Yeah, you
So,
posted that the other day somewhere.
oh, did I?
The
Okay.
chip order.
So initially,
I forget
to
which.
two, yeah, to two, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 2, and then it changes to 1, 2, 3, 4, in terms of 2 to 5 priorities.
Yeah.
But yeah, you always want to go 2 to. I mean, you don't have to go 2 to 5 because again, like you gotta optimize based on your RNG. If you're close to 1 to get it to 3-star, get the small boost that you can get now instead of waiting weeks for um, the 2 to become 5. So, but yeah, I'd say 5 is like the immediate goal that anybody should have on their main squad. This is a sweet spot, and then you can decide what you're gonna do after.
Yeah.
But
So what was that order again? What was it?
to
Middle
5
is
star,
last.
to 5
Yeah, because
star.
yes. Well,
Okay.
as far as just upgrading each piece goes, I know that the top is
Yeah.
first, then on the left is second. What's the third?
The third, it changed. Before Gorilla,
Hmm.
before Gorilla, it was this one, and the least valuable was the armor.
Okay.
After the Gorilla, and after the new meta of missiles putting 1 or 2 attackers at the front, armor changed, swapped position with the middle one, and armor became
Gotcha.
third, and that one became last.
Gotcha. Okay.
I actually always refer to these things because like I forgot. Hold on. Okay, so lethal, then no. Okay, this is 5 to 8, but I think it's the same. Okay, so ultra fission armor. No, that's the old one. Hold on. Okay, so to 5, it's lethal, then ultra, then armor. So ultra is which one? Ultra is
That's
this one.
left.
Okay, so
Yeah.
this. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Thank you.
you're welcome, welcome. Um, and okay,
I have
this is one new
yeah, I have
thing about the
one question I'll
components.
save for the end.
Okay, I just want to say about the components. So with the upgrade to the components, yeah, you get initially big boost based on how many you have that are not used. However, if you haven't noticed how the numbers are going up, you almost get nothing in between these. So from 60 to 79, I barely gained anything. However, from 79, as soon as I hit 80, I will get plus 0.5 skill damage, which is amazing, plus 1% hero attack, all my heroes. So, like so this is how you should use your, what do you call it? You should use your choice. I had 3 choice today. I didn't want to, if I used 3, I would have guaranteed to go up to 80% on the rocket, but of course, just bad luck and they're annoying. I didn't get anything into the rocket. So I really don't want to use this because it gives around 2%. So I don't want 81. I want to save it to something that's 77, 78. Um, that being said, actually, so let's see, maybe I'll get 1 missile. Okay, I got 1. I think I need 2 for this. But anyways, so you will not feel a big difference between 60 to 80. It just you get the buffs instead of you used to get them at 100. Now you get a little bit at 20, a little bit at 40, 60, 80. The stuff you get in the middle, you get something, but it's very small. Okay, so now I'll get it. Okay, so this would be a decent increase from. Okay, I really want to hit 50. I wanted to hit 50 before I leave, but the game doesn't want to. Okay,
It
second.
never does.
Yeah. 98, so 30k. If you see anything else, like let's say 70 to 75, it would be even way, like less than half of that. So,
I'm
so
going
yeah.
Scooty.
always go for so this would be my next, even though this is not good. Like the best components are is this one as first, this is second for HP, and not this, not this, and this is third. So these are like the best three. One, two, three.
Yeah.
The worst one is drone defense. Second worst is hero defense overlord and whatever. So like these two. And this is okay. I mean, you get percentage of the shield based on the drone HP, but again, it's not very important. Um, so
Yeah.
yeah, three good ones, three crappy ones. So tell me
Yeah.
your
So view those
yeah.
view those in terms of benchmarks rather than just every choice component is a missile.
Yep, yep, yep.
Got it. Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
Especially if you have something like this, for example. Like I could have used it earlier, and I got two packages of the 3 level ones, 3 and 6, and obviously you get nothing. None of them is missile. But I really just didn't want to push the last bit with choice because I'd rather save it for this one, for example, or anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Like this or that. I'm not gonna use. By the way, I'm not even gonna use it here, even if it was close. So only the three valuable drone components when I'm close to a milestone or like the next level up, I'd call it, or portion. Then I'll use the choice. So.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, because I've heard plenty of people, who, are YouTubers that, they're always saying use every single choice component on missile, and that's the way you view it is the way I view a lot of things. Is what's your next benchmark? Go for that one because that'll give you the best returns. That you'll enjoy in the short term, and yeah, no, it makes complete sense. You've put numbers to it basically, and
Like, to be honest, this is why I was thinking today about, like, this is the first time I do anything on YouTube, by the way. Like, I don't have a channel, I don't do anything, but, like, when we were doing workshops in the past, Jessica used to record them and cut them and upload them and edit and upload them to OneDrive. And, like, guys saw them useful. And I know there's a lot of content, but whenever I like the game and I like to see stuff, but whenever I see YouTubers, I mean, it's fun. The streams are fun. Some fights are fun, but the focus is either being funny or the focus is I put too much money in the game, which is fine, I understand. But from my perspective, there is no educational content. This game, it has no streamers who are knowledgeable or good or just dissect stuff. It's crazy. Like, I don't know. I really don't understand it because there's so many players in this game, and so I don't know. I thought, okay, since I'm doing it anyways on Discord, let's put it on YouTube. Who knows? Maybe I'll get some views, and yeah, we'll take RGZ to be global and international.
Yeah,
and it's
absolutely.
actually more convenient instead of recording, uploading. Like YouTube does that for you, and I can cut a bit, and maybe I don't know how to edit and stuff, but I can always think about like small stuff and be like, okay, so skill chips, do this order, be careful of this, do this, don't do that because of this, and here are the numbers, and just do a 2-3 minute videos, and yeah, and at this stage I'm not doing them for anyone. I'm just doing them for my friends and alliance, maybe server. But if it goes off, I'm not gonna say no.
No, absolutely, man.
But yeah.
We appreciate that.
I'll be back in a little bit, guys. I'm just walking in the house.
So you wanted
Later.
to ask?
Thank you, Mac. That's awesome.
You're welcome. Welcome. My pleasure, guys.
Yeah, no, I mean, I like the way you break it down too. I like how you keep the notepad files with, the numbers in them. That's like something I do at work and, with the game sometimes. I mean, you have it really well organized. A lot of the guys, yeah, like with YouTube, it's just when I'm like, I'm driving or something and
it's entertaining.
I'll just like reference I'll reference what somebody else is saying just to kind of bounce ideas off.
Yeah.
I often disagree and like have found other data,
But
than a lot of the
how
YouTubers
aren't
I've
there?
had.
Like, it's weird. Like, I love games,
Yeah.
and I'm such a gamer. I play so many games, and in every game, I like to read about it, check strategy, check numbers. This is the
Yeah.
only game, literally the only game that I rarely find stuff that are useful, which is weird. There are many
Yeah.
streamers, but like,
It's
where,
so complex.
yeah. But no, there are so
Like
many
there's
smart guys.
yeah.
Like the group of friends I'm telling you about, like those programmers. And by the way, like these guys are friends with devs, and I'm in the group with them. Like they're not friends with me, and they don't like me much because I leaked some stuff in the past. But to my friends. But anyway, but every now and then I get useful info. I'd be happy to share with Alliance. Like I got, for example, the new system for the server transfer in January about the three
Oh wow.
tiers and how many you get that. So occasionally I can get some stuff. I got the headquarter requirements early. This was when they got upset because I shared it on the official Discord. And then somebody replied and said, "Oh, this is not. This is just a draft, or it's not confirmed." Like I don't know. Like it was very clear they're unhappy, but I just didn't think. To be honest, I was dumb. But anyway, so
It's
occasionally,
fair.
yeah, occasionally I can get some stuff. But for last season, they gave me this. This was very useful for us in terms of transferring. I made this on Excel, but they gave me the data in it, like about the power, activity level, the rank, and whatnot. So this
Oh
helped
wow.
us a lot. We were 303. See, 28 out of 32. So stuff like that obviously changed after. By the way, you guys were not very high, but like you keep climbing. But this is for before season 3. I couldn't get it this time around, and I'm suspecting
Yeah.
Thanks,
that.
Back. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Sorry. So, did you ask your question or I missed it? Cause
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's a I don't know if it's a complex answer or if it's a simple answer, but all right. So, I've only been playing the game for like 190 days, right?
oh,
The
okay,
whole time I've been, I've been, building tanks,
okay,
and I I see a lot of people are switching to the missile meta, and I don't
yep,
really understand the the nitty gritty behind if what is the best type of squad to run, and I don't know if it's just like
here.
kind of natural progression, or if it's kind of like, can you kind of break that down in
Yep,
either in whatever terms you think best describe it? Because
yeah,
I am I'm a numbers guy as well, and
yeah.
I would want to see kind
Yeah.
of where it comes from.
So there are two parts. First part
Okay.
is like how strong is your first squad? Like where you are on the what's the term? Where you are on the oh my god,
I
the
haven't.
word is
Yeah. I
leaving me.
mean,
On the
what?
food chain. That makes a huge
Um.
difference
Well,
because yeah.
yeah. I could stream for you if you want.
Yeah, or send a report even in game. Like I just want to see
Sure.
where you're at. Are you
Okay.
around 40 plus for like
Yeah.
okay.
44.39 million.
Okay, okay. So you are in the upper, I would say 25. So like, okay. So in that case, then there are more viable options. So let me go back.
Hmm.
So I'm not trying to avoid the question. It's just like I'll tell you the justification around it.
Yeah,
So
and
if
I don't want
you're
to take too much of your time away from everybody else, but like I think it's kind of it's a question I've never been able to really like
so oh what
answer or even get an answer for.
okay. So statistically, it's air. Why?
Okay.
Because tanks, sorry, missiles, even in older servers, strong missiles make up for. I really don't want to say inaccurate numbers, so I'm just guessing, but it's around there. I don't remember if it was 5 or 15, but it had 5 in it. I'm sorry. But, anyways, let's say it's 15%, right? And then double that for air, and then the rest is no, I think it was actually 5. because that would make more sense. 5, 15, and then 70, give or take. These are not very accurate because I don't remember exactly, but they were in that range. So if you're gonna talk about most of the players, or like 2/3 of the players, play tank as their first squad, um, and then only 5 counter you, 5 to 10% counter you with missiles, then you have your answer here. So statistically, the best is air. And based on that, even if I show you on stream, like I was focused on air. That was gonna be my first squad for that reason,
Yeah.
statistically. And then I actually forgot about another point, which is where I am on the food chain. So these numbers are not very accurate when we look at them in hindsight like that, because you don't want to know where 100% of the players are, because the
Yep.
20 million, 30 million, it doesn't matter what they play. I win anyways. So it's irrelevant
sure.
if you counter them or you get counters. So if you just remove these and see, okay, in my bracket, the ones around me in the top 100 maybe, or top 80 in the arena, what do they play? You would find that 2/3 are air and 1/3 or less are missiles. This is why my answer was later missiles, so I'm switching to missiles.
Yeah. Okay.
Because in my
that's
bracket,
kind of the way I was thinking.
in my bracket, it's missile or mostly. There have been some tanks coming back, but they're not many. So it's missile, so I'm not countered. It's air, I'll crush.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess that's the way I was thinking about it so far. I was like, in the back of my head, I'm thinking, is it a like skill type thing, like where the hero skills ramp up in a certain way that like makes them much more like put out much more damage to a certain degree, or something like that.
Yeah, the weapons are. So the game is really screwing tanks to protect missiles, because missiles are the most expensive. They're what people unlock the most. So most of the guys who have missiles first are the guys who paid the most. So they want them to be happy. So how do you keep missiles happy? By fucking up tanks.
That makes sense. Yeah, also they're the newest ones, so it's the newest, biggest money generator.
Yep. And you have strong free-to-play tanks. You don't want them to win, because that would make the paying missiles angry. So after Kim, there is no good weapon. Murphy is so bad, even maxed out on 30. Marshall is so bad. Like, again, I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying bad relative to all the other weapons. Like, Schuyler is broken. It's borderline between who's best, her or Diva, and Diva was insanely strong. If you look at missiles, all the weapons are broken, like OP, too good. Especially if we're talking level 30, they're too good. I spent weeks trying to see which is better, and it's like the answer was all good. So I went with Swift first. He's at 29. The other's at 20. So after I'm done, I'll do McGregor second. That's what I've decided on. But it's very close. Like, you can't even go wrong. This is how good all the weapons are. So not in the skills. Like, the heroes are fine. Just the weapons that they're giving the tanks, they're not really helping their case.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, because the reason I brought up skills is obviously because of, like Adam's 5-star skill is like, boosts like front row, and then there's a different. I mean, do you use the different configuration there? Like, do you go Swift and McGregor in the front, or like which is your formation?
I run this exactly this. So Swift left behind Tesla. So there are advantages to both. So when I play against somebody who's close to my power, missile versus missile, He's a little bit stronger. I like to believe my account is a lot more optimized than others. So like if I see 52 missile, I might attack, or 51 and a half. I would attack. I
Yeah.
would not be worried that, okay, there's a good chance I'd lose. No, I'd say there's a good chance I'd win. I might lose. So having him here, I found that that decreases the chance of me winning. So having both attackers up front going against stronger opponent reduces your risk. The best thing against a stronger opponent is actually the standard. So this is the best if I'm going against 52 missiles. However, this is worse against if I'm pushing like my limits against air. So if I'm pushing my limits against air, these guys do very bad in this position. And they do amazing in this position. So do you know what I mean? So like what I did,
Yeah.
like that's kind
So
of
you want to
the
boost
best
attack more then.
Yeah, so this is a good middle ground.
Yeah.
Because it's situational. It's the same thing
Gotcha.
like Murphy is so amazing in this build, like this, only two attackers. This build is super broken, super amazing. The problem is you lose to a lot more air than I'd like, but you do better against missile versus missile. You'd have an upper hand, but you would lose against air. So yeah,
So, and that's I guess that's because of the counter defense and counter attack,
and
right?
yes, but the main reason for this is there's treasure.
Oh yeah.
By the way, we always stop everything when there's treasure. We're talking about some topic in game or in life. It's like everything stops. It's like treasure.
Yeah, we do
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
There are priorities in life. But if it's resources, I'll be pissed again.
You got to do it.
I've had resources to go 34 for a week now, but I have no oil, and I really don't want to buy it. It just because afterwards I'll be fine. I need 1.1 million. Does anyone know how much? Not how much production. This I can calculate, but like how much do you get from other stuff like secret tasks? I don't know, from other sources.
Yeah, I think
Figure it out.
Like I need 1.1 million.
Yeah.
Anybody knows average even like just ballpark how long would I need to get 1.1?
are you not gonna buy?
I really don't want to. I mean,
Probably.
I will, but if I
And
have
the chick
to,
said
because it's
she's strapped in, so she doesn't have to help them up. She packs them up like this, and she just rolls them right in.
Oh, that's cool. That's not home.
Sorry to cut you off. What were we talking about? We were.
We were talking about oil.
Yeah, when I went from
before
33 to 34, I think I was getting 300K average a week without buying it.
That would be a while. I need 5.9, and if you does the win-win work on oil?
Let's
see.
I think it did.
I know it works on the other stuff. It's like this is.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Do I have it active? I do have it active. Okay. So with it, I need. Is it 5.9 with it? Yeah, it's 5. Okay, fuck it. So I still need 1.1 more.
Right.
So I'm not gonna be able to do it on construction day, right? So I'll have to buy some.
Yeah, I mean not without hitting the weekly. Which is
weekly. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, like the shop, the
like weekly
one
deals.
The one that gives 400K.
Yeah, I've been saying it's too bad that there's not a daily must buy for oil, because those ramp up so well. I mean, they're so good for the other resources if you really want to get several million in a pinch.
Like the problem is most of the time I have oil and I don't have resources. This is why I don't want to buy it. It's just because I know that after I go to 34, I'm not gonna need oil for a while. So I'd rather put it in something that is more valuable. Like, I know this is not a good offer, but I'm really debating getting this. This, just because I'm going to 30. I've gotten all the offer on Hero Day and maxed out on the total mobilization, and this happens. I didn't calculate it, but it was just so annoying.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I'm doing the daily, but that's 10. I need about 9 more days.
Yeah.
It just stopping at any point is fine, but like at 29 is annoying. And by the way,
Oh, without a
Yeah.
doubt.
today I stopped at like different things. So I had I only needed a few for level 33 to unlock this, which is not important. But also I was 45 away from this, and I got all the data from the daily must buy. The only thing I had left was this, and I'm not gonna get 80, so it's 800k, and I only need 40. So luckily, I forgot that the new Marshall gives one purple, so this is how I went up. But like in the morning, I had 3 major upgrades and just missing a little bit in each, which is annoying. I know, so this is why I feel like I'd rather put it anywhere else than oil. I don't think 35 is gonna be easy. I forgot what's
No,
35.
35 is wait, what was the requirement for 34?
34 are these. Hold on. So you have wall 33, align center, and tech,
Oh yeah, I
and
just meant oil.
barracks. Sorry.
It was what was for the oil though?
What was? Oh, what was for the oil? Hold
Yeah.
on. I have.
It's like 11.2 for 35, and I'm never gonna get there.
What's this? Okay, hold on. This is okay. Okay, yeah, this is old before it was determined, but I think it's on the website. Hold on.
Oh yeah, no, I can see what it is to go to 35 because I'm at 34.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah. They
yeah,
have
it's
very
it's
good
disgusting.
calculator here. They updated it recently as well. Where is it? Yeah, here, Copilot V2. So from 34 to 35. So yep, tech center, barracks. Okay, at least this is fine. Okay, these are all good. So no bullshit. Align center, wall. Okay, 1.3, 1.3, 2.75. Okay. So
And
total
then
21 million. But I mean, this can take its like I can take my time with this. It's fine. It's just when you get close that you want to push. Uh,
Does that say 600 days?
yep.
That's accurate?
Yep, but it doesn't
it
account
would be if
for.
you didn't have
It doesn't
any
account for any of your speed up
Yeah.
percentages or
Yeah. So let's do this.
Yeah, that's funny.
And the
I just thought that was
building-
interesting.
Yeah, no, but it's not gonna be a lot better, by the way.
Yeah.
Wait, it's from here. Combat economy. Wait, building construct 137 and a half. Okay.
That's like 200 something.
Oh, 137 and a half. Okay. What else do you want? Research speed? No, no, no. So 50. Okay, but we can add. Okay, so what do you want to do? There is 50%, but there's now extra 45 that you can get from research.
Yeah, so it would be 95%,
But
right?
I don't. But they're not.
Because
giving me this
it would be the
option.
upgraded co-op and then the title.
Yeah. Oh, here. Okay, so this is 45. and 50 on top.
There you go.
Okay, so save it, and only 187 days.
Oh my god. That's exactly how long I've been playing the game.
I've been playing for 400 almost. But okay,
Oh, wow.
like what happened? Like how? Tell me the story. There is a story behind 187 days.